Let's talk about guide rod bushings. So if you own a 123 series car and you're getting a little crunch when you go over a bump, and your front suspension is fair in decent shape, you know you don't have bad control arm bushings, you've done your upper control arms and your lower ball joints, there's still one more thing that can make noise. And even if you replace this thing recently, it can still make noise. And so today we're going to talk about guide rod bushings. Now, these bushings are the anchoring point for the lower control arm. They go fore and aft. And they have a little rubber pad here so that you can actually see the bushing inside. Gosh, these are stiff. You have a sealed joint so that they can't, cannibalize themselves. And because they're factory Mercedes units, they should be fairly difficult to move. Now, if you get one of these and this rod is loose, which is typically how the new Limford or other Phoebe or Mealy or whatever aftermarket bushings come. But if you get one and the rod is loose, then you know it's bad. If you get one and the rod is like falling under its own power, then it's really bad. But the question is, how do we get to these things? Because you have to take the spring out. So, first of all, just to recap, diagnosis, crunching sound and going over bumps, gets worse in cold weather sometimes. Occasionally, if you're trying to align the car, you might find that your caster is not very good and tends to change easily. So there's something too. But that's number one. Number two, changing them, you're going to have to compress the spring. Now, you can go on eBay and get a cheap telescoping spring compressor that is designed for the 123 series and 126 series cars. Sometimes you may have to mill the head of the spring compressor where it fits in the spring perch in the chassis, but overall it tends to work out pretty well. One of the reasons why it's important to compress the spring is because if you try to take this out where it bolts in its housing, you'll never be able to pry it in and out. There's just not enough room. The thread screws too deep into the guide rod itself, and too much pressure is required to put it in and out. And I've seen people try to do this and they end up bending the rod or misthreading the rod where it goes in. So it's better just to buy the spring compressor. Now, if you put it into perspective, that $99 spring compressor or whatever is still cheaper than 1 hour of labor at a shop. It's also cheaper to buy the spring compressor and compress it yourself because you can rebuild other parts of your front suspension like your lower control arms. And then when you're done, you can put the thing back on eBay and sell it for roughly what you paid for it. So it's a winning proposition. When you do these, you should also replace the guide rod mounting kits, which again, with the spring cup in place, you can't get to those. Now, why do I suggest that when people do this work, they use genuine Mercedes parts? Well, first of all, because the aftermarket versions of these parts, even if they're tight, they tend to wear out after 1 year, and then you have to go do it again. I know these are expensive. They're like somewhere between $180 and $200. But, if you actually value your time doing the job again, and this is what happens, so many people don't value their time. Doing the job twice is a real pain in the ass. And I personally don't like to do it twice. I don't like to warranty it. Now, with the guide rod mounting bushing kits, buying them from Mercedes, again, is a good idea. They're about $60 each because the little rubber cups where the guide rod meets the control arm through its hole tend to wear out as well. And you don't want to, have to go in and do that job again. And if they really go bad, they can cause a vibration at high speed. And nobody likes vibrations. I'm yet to meet one person who enjoys their car vibrating like crazy, except for maybe some of the people in like the modified Mercedes group where they've like lowered the car and put the wrong engine in. Those people seem to like getting a vibration in their butt, the likes of which I don't think most of us could stand. But anyway, my point is that if you want the car to run and drive like new, you can't use aftermarket parts for especially highly stressed parts such as these guide rod bushings. Now I'm going to give you the part number. 123, 330, 1335, and I think the guide rod mounting kits are 123, 330, I don't know, are they 1735 or 1435? I can't remember. Anyway, my point being, you know, and these can go bad on 126s too, but they're a different design that we'll talk about later. But my point being, you know, there is a way that you can do them and do them yourself, and it's not so bad with the spring compressor. You neutralize the entire spring then. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like it, and please tap the bell for notifications. Also, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to see your see the subscriptions number go up. I know we're a niche channel, but I think that there are more than 21,000 people out there who love classic Mercedes, or at least love them the right way. And finally, thank you to our Patreon supporters. We really appreciate you guys. And if you need personalized information, you can always contact me, and I'll be happy to give you a response for the small fee of $10 if you are suffering with a major technical issue. Thanks, and enjoy your classic Mercedes.